be seated. Council is in session. This meeting of Ajax Council is being held in a hybrid meeting format with virtual and in-person participation by members of the public, staff, and council. This meeting is also being live streamed and may be viewed online at ajax.ca/live. A friendly reminder to all participants, please use your microphone at all times for the benefit of those participating in council chambers and joining remotely. I'll now call this meeting to order. Start with the land acknowledgement. I'd like to begin this meeting by acknowledging that the land in which we gather is situated within the traditional and treaty territory of the Mississaugas. More specifically, the Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation, signatories of the Gunshot Treaty of 1788 and the Williams Treaties of 1923. This land is and will continue to be home to the Indigenous peoples. Let us acknowledge the mistakes and traumas of the past through authenticity and support truth and reconciliation. Let us engage and celebrate Indigenous communities by being leaders of action and acknowledging the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples and the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's recommendations towards truth and reconciliation. Let us keep these principles close as we continue towards truth and reconciliation and as we move forward with kindness and respect as a community. Does any member of council have any disclosure of pecuniary interest? Hearing none. First is the adoption of the minutes. We have several here, moved by Councillor Lee, second by Councillor Tyler Morin, that the following minutes of previous council meetings be adopted. The regular meeting of June 23rd, 2025, the closed meeting of June 23rd, 2025, the special meeting of July 29th, 2025, and the closed meeting of July 29th, 2025, and the special meeting of August 15th, 2025, and the closed meeting of August 15th, 2025. Any errors and omissions, questions, comments on the minutes? No, please open the vote. Thank you. That carries. To the clerk, is there any submissions online for question period? No. Does any member of the public have any questions arising on items on today's agenda? No. Thank you. We have one delegation, item 5.1, item 7.2 of the General Government Committee, September 8th, 2025 report, PDS 2025-21. Heather Middleton, are you here? Please come forward. I understand you are representing a group, so you have 10 minutes. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Last week at the General Government Committee meeting, you received the report that the Mayor just mentioned, consideration of a Heritage Conservation District in Neighbourhood 1. Today, I am here representing multiple Woodhouse Crescent neighbours who would like to speak to that report, but we were not permitted to do so in the structure of that last meeting. Woodhouse Crescent is centrally located in Neighbourhood 1. The report, the tenor of which seemed less positive than our cumulative recollection, was lengthy, providing context and detail, though there was a noteworthy omission. Where it mentioned the overall survey results, it indicated that though the overall neighborhood was not for a heritage district, there were pockets of yes votes, with Woodhouse Crescent the largest of those areas. And what the report failed to say was Woodhouse Crescent surveys were 66% in favor of a heritage conservation district. 66%. With such a majority return, you can imagine our surprise that there was no recommendation to continue the consultative process. We were further surprised that remarks made at the GGC meeting seemingly indicated the possibility of additional requirements that could have to be weighed for a heritage district, none of which were discussed during our Town and Neighbourhood 1 information session, nor included on the information sent out to the Neighbourhood 1 residences or included on the survey itself. We feel if there are actually more qualifications required beyond a majority vote in favor of the district, those requirements should have been mentioned at the outset. To not do so smacks a bit of changing the rules of the game. It's very hard for residents to hear this and not think these unknown considerations are efforts to curtail the process. If you have questions or concerns, ask those questions and find out the answers rather than curtail the process before it's played out. Continue the process now where you have heard there is majority interest. We feel the need to speak to remarks made by multiple councillors concerned about possible contention that may be brewing within the neighborhood as a result of the HCD conversation. It is important to note that discord already exists, unfortunately, and stems directly from the monster home builds. This neighborhood was not designed to accommodate excessive builds like this. You cannot construct one without seriously negatively and permanently impacting those around it, and new owners can obviously see that. From the inception of construction to completion, our experience has been complete disregard from new owners, disregard to follow bylaws which have been reported, displayed in improper construction methods that negatively impacted the street and the neighborhood, disregard when neighbors have asked them to be considerate and responsible. Add to this what we have already mentioned to council, decreased and impeded forever driveway access for neighbors next door, drainage issues, diminished and or eradicated sunlight and privacy, the lasting legacy of the oversized out-of-character builds. Their actions have repeatedly shown a lack of consideration for anyone but themselves. So frankly, what they have already taken away from the neighborhood has already seeded discord, and unfortunately contention already exists. Secondly, another councillor comment of note from the GGC meeting indicating hope that residents will come to properly understand what a heritage conservation district is. To us, a comment that obviously shows the merits of a HCD and echoes that lack of concern results from accurate knowledge. So prompting us to again ask why no effort is being made to continue the consultative process, if only on Woodhouse Crescent, where there is a majority favorability. At the outset, Mayor, you asked if we would be satisfied with the survey results. We were informed before the survey that an HCD could potentially not include the entirety of Neighborhood 1. In fact, more than likely it would not. So are we satisfied? Yes, we're satisfied with 66%, far above 51%, which is usually a winning majority. What we need to ask is, are you satisfied? You approved this consultative process with the understanding that it is a process with many post-survey steps identified. We have now shown there's an area of majority interest. Are you satisfied to curtail this process now knowing that? If you have further questions, ask us. For instance, one question posed at the GGC meeting, would Woodhouse residents still want an HCD for their street if surrounding ones were not designated? Ask Woodhouse residents. It's a consultative process. If there is one street to consider continuing with the consultative process towards a potential designation, it is Woodhouse Crescent. Our street, originally populated with those that worked in DIL, returning war veterans, their families. Like my parents, many have now passed, but our street is still home to many of the original families. Additionally, and very importantly, we have several young families that have chosen to buy on our street. They love the character of these homes, the parks, the mature trees, not a newer residential neighborhood. They see the value and want it retained. If there is one street during our 70th anniversary, Woodhouse Crescent is ideal. Beyond the 66% favorable return, you will have noticed the photo on screen of a plaque installed in our park for Captain Woodhouse. Woodhouse Crescent was named after Captain Woodhouse, the captain of HMS Ajax. If there's one street in Ajax, in Neighborhood 1, that has demonstrated a majority return in the survey and has ample merits to continue this consultative process, we believe it is Woodhouse Crescent. Woodhouse Crescent neighbors that I represent would like to thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Any questions for the delegation? I just have a couple, because I was not able to attend the Monday meeting at GGC. Right. I had another commitment on town business. So I did not get to ask the questions or whichever, but I do thank you for bringing up the point that I made back in, I think it was March, when you appeared before us, and I said, if we do this public consultation, will you be satisfied and abide by the results? And you said you are satisfied with the results, but I understand it's your desire to have just the one street named as Neighborhood 1. Okay. I don't know how many houses are on that street, but 66% represents how many of those houses? Is there, it's not 66% of the 200 houses on your street, it's 66%
of the respondents.
The 10 people that showed up from that street at the
of the respondents. Meeting. So there's 58 on the street.
Okay.
32 replied.
Okay.
to the survey. I could not, I think it's 21 were in favor. I'm not sure if there were unsures that related to our street because the unsure number that I was given neighborhood-wide was not broken down, and we were not permitted to see the mapping of how everything was within the neighborhood, understandably, because no one wanted to be in a position of knowing if their neighbor said yes or said no, and you know what might result from that. So there's an unknown 10% that may apply in some.
All right, well, thank you for
Fashion.
clearing that. To answer your question, my opinion, yes, I am satisfied with the results. You asked, am I satisfied? Yes, I am. It's exactly pretty much what I expected. I have done this enough times to know that often when we go to the public for this, it is majority does not want it. Unfortunately, and I'll just say for me, I'm not going to be supporting anything that's going to just make one street in the entire town different from the others based on this turnout. So that's just my opinion, but thank you for your delegation day. I don't see any other.
What
Any others?
would motivate you to consider a street?
No.
What would be the criteria for you?
we
Because
did-
Mayor, that is one thing that multiple people were concerned about. I know you weren't at the meeting, but it seemed that the bar had moved a little bit and there were other things to be considered in terms of whether or not a street, a section of houses, we've understood that a section of houses could be designated. There was, you know, a variety of proposed ideas of what comprises a district.
I agreed to do the study and invest the money and the staff time to do it, to satisfy the residents. It was a long meeting. There was a lot more people than are here now that spoke to this.
Well, it's
So I
1
said,
o'clock in
okay,
the afternoon,
we'll-
that's why
we'll
they
do
can't
it.
come.
We'll do it. But I am satisfied with the results. There isn't anything that came out of this that would make me change that decision at this point. And I'm just one member of council, but we've done the report's been received, and thank you for your delegation. Oh, there you go, Councilor Bauer.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Middleton, for coming today and for delegating. And again, as I've said many times, your passion for recognizing the importance of heritage in our town. So I just wanted to comment a couple of things. First of all, I just feel I need to address everyone and tell you I live on Woodhouse Crescent. So I am very torn. There's a conflict for me on this particular item. When we've talked a few times, and sort of some of the issues that I feel, we did a survey. It was a legitimate town-conducted, directed survey to all of the neighborhood. The process was followed. I believe there were 2 CAP meetings and an open house, and then last week's GGC, and there were results that were tendered. So to me, I feel we did the survey, we have the results. And the group that is really in favor of designation, unfortunately, the survey didn't work out that way, and we're looking for another way to keep it going. And part of my conflict is there are other surveys that are conducted in our town for various topics and decisions, and I just don't want a precedent being set where if a survey works out in favor of one, that the other continues to try to see how it can be manipulated. And this area, our area, you know, I've been thinking about this because if we're going to push for designation of heritage, then if I were to put a motion forward today, Ms. Middleton, I know it will fail, and we know what happens when a motion fails. But if I was going to, not only would I want to say, let's look at heritage, let's continue the heritage discussion on Woodhouse, I would also say, let's continue the heritage discussion for the red brick buildings at Harwood and Kings, which is a completely other topic, also designated very important by the people who live there. So what I want to ask you is, I don't want to put any motion forward today, but I would like to have, now that I've heard your presentation, I'm going to talk again with our heritage planner and that group am likely talk again to you. Because, 32 out of 58, like, it's a tough one. Like, I'm just talking out loud right now, but I wanted to respond to what you've said today, to know that I'm not just ignoring it.
No, I know.
And that I will take what you've said and have a little more discussion before consideration of any kind of motion. So I'm just letting you know that.
No, that's.
No
that's-
question.
That's
Yeah.
fair. And I should say, in regards to what the mayor said as well as what
Yep.
you're saying, from the standpoint of the people that are very favorable for it, obviously, on our street, even before the survey, we were given information, and I think I included that in there, that though the entire neighborhood was being surveyed as Neighborhood 1, we were told quite clearly that oftentimes when you're doing a larger area, it becomes a portion of that actually becomes a designation. So I hope that's understood as to why, when we got the report last week and didn't see that it was moving forward in any way, even if it was to further consult with that street.
No,
our
for sure.
street. But that was part of the key point that we were trying to make in bringing this forward, not to sort of beat a dead horse or to try to set a poor precedent for a survey, meaning additional surveys, additional processes, rather the fact that we were told that it could be comprised of a much lesser area.
Right,
So
understood.
would we have loved to have had 100% for the entire neighborhood? Of course we would have. But we weren't looking at that as the only option, is what I was
Yeah.
trying to clarify and why we've returned.
And maybe I would be a little more forceful if it was 96% of Woodhouse who came forward. But it wasn't. So that means that there's part of that street that is in favor and part that's not, and it's closer than,
And likely
Then
part that didn't
huge.
respond, which is
Could-
also a point that we
Maybe.
raise.
so no question, thank you, but I will continue the conversation with planners and with the neighborhood. Thank you for the indulgence, Mayor Collier.
Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes delegations. Thank you very much.
Okay.
We have 3 items of correspondence. All are to do with motions that we're going to deal with later on. I would suggest we receive these for information. But Councillor Lee, please go ahead.
Can we not refer them to the appropriate motions? That's a thing, right?
Or that, yeah, either.
So I'll move to, oh my God, I just forgot the word I just used. Refer. Refer all correspondence to the corresponding motion, please, Chair.
Seconder? Councillor Henry? Conversation? Discussion? Nope. Those in favor? We have referred the 3 items of correspondence to the motion number 9.3. So we'll deal with these when we get to 9.3. That carries. We have, sorry, find where we are. Okay, that puts us through to departmental reports. Item 7.1, Community Affairs and Planning Committee. Moved by Councilor Dye, second by Councilor Henry, that the Community Affairs and Planning Committee report dated September 2nd, 2025 be adopted. Questions? Seeing none, open the vote, please. That carries. Item 7.2, the General Government Committee report, September 8th, 2025, moved by Councilor Lee, second by Councilor Bauer. The General Government Committee report dated September 8th be adopted. Questions? Those in favor? That carries. Moving on to departmental reports, we have item 7.3.1, update on homelessness in Ajax. It was referred from the September 8th, 2025 General Government Committee meeting. I guess I'll put this on the floor and then you can speak to it. Councilor Lee, moved by Councilor Dye, second by Councilor Lee, that staff be directed to coordinate a public town hall meeting for residents and businesses about the impact of homelessness in Ajax with the appropriate staff from the region of Durham and Durham Region Police Services. And two, this meeting be held after staff have introduced the crisis care facility bylaw at the October 2025 meeting of council. Councilor Lee.
Thank you, Chair. I'm the one who moved to defer this to council meeting. I think it was important that, you know, all of council chime in on a very important issue. I guess my only question to staff would be, yesterday there was an announcement on federal funding regarding, you know, billions to be put in towards supportive housing. Would that factor into our crisis care facility bylaw at all?
Ramage.
Through the chair to Regional Councilor Lee, thank you for the question. In terms of the crisis care control bylaw, the funding announced by the federal government would not impact this bylaw moving forward at this time. Staff's understanding of that funding is we're in the process of looking into that, and we've actually organized a meeting for all staff to get together to discuss ways that we can be involved, understand what the program offers. But in terms of what its ability to in terms of its ability to impact our decision moving forward related to the bylaw, it's not applicable.
Great, thank you. So it's a pretty simple motion then, just asking for the public town hall meeting. Thank you for Councilor Bauer for suggesting it. I think having more people at the table is always a better solution, especially one that is all encompassing as this one. So hopefully this passes. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councilor Crawford.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just wanted to say that I'm very happy to hear that there's going to be a meeting. I think that it's been 2, maybe 3 years. Has it been 3 years since we've had? And there's been a lot of changes to, you know, the kind of the rules around encampments. There's been a lot of misunderstanding, and I think it's important that our residents understand what the town's responsibility is in this really difficult file. So I'm really glad that we're having it. I also think that it provides an avenue for residents to you know, voice their concerns and any issues that they have, and that's fair. They need to have that, right? I'd rather have it in person than to see reading it on Facebook all the time. So can I just ask a question, maybe not related to the motion?
What's the question?
I wanted to know exactly what we need or want to help us deal with homelessness.
Who do you want to ask that to? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. It's just a small question.
A miracle?
Just a small question.
Through the chair to Regional Council Crawford, I think that's a question that would require some more thoughtful. I mean, I can give you my opinion. I'm not sure that's helpful in this juncture. So that is something that staff can take back, and at a future date, council present something a little bit more tangible in terms of whether it's an advocacy strategy or a future state of what we'd like to move forward on the homelessness file to work towards those solutions. But just reiterating what was mentioned during my presentation is that the town's scope of authority is so limited, as you know, on this issue. And so really anything that we do does require involvement, funding, resources, approvals from other levels of government. So whatever's brought forward to council or discussed at a future date would very clearly highlight the limitations of the town's ability to address these issues independently.
But as far as the town goes, there's only one level of government that we receive funding from, right? All the other governments file into the region, correct?
For the most part, the funding does go to the region, and then the region distributes it accordingly.
Right, okay. Thank you. I look forward to the meetings. You're going to do 2 separate ones, one for business and one for residents?
Through the chair. So what we had discussed is doing one meeting for residents and businesses together to again, which is an opportunity for them to share their concerns, to speak with the service providers, whether that is the region, whether that is Durham Regional Police, or whether that's the town ourselves. It's an opportunity for them to share their feelings, their experiences, and ask their questions to staff directly. The additional meetings that were discussed during the GGC meeting were around the advocacy organizations like the CDCD, like the Homelessness Task Force, meeting with them separately so that they understand where the state of where the town is at, what kind of our goals are moving forward, and providing an opportunity for a more fruitful discussion that way.
So I know the task force, I think Councillor Bauer and Regional Councillor Dyes, you guys are still on that, is that correct? Do we ever get like an update from them on what they're discussing? Is it a possibility to have an update? Okay, thanks.
Not related to the motion.
Okay, I'm getting in trouble,
That's
so
an
never mind.
offline
I'll
question
ask that
that's not
later,
related
maybe
to the
perhaps on
motion.
another agenda.
Councillor Bauer.
Thank you, Mayor Collier. And thank you, Regional Councillor Crawford, for your comments and questions, because I know if you had been at the meeting last week, this would have been your motion. And of course, I always commend the work of Regional Councillor Dyes, who did make a good point to me the other day before this meeting, and I'll ask you, Ms. Brownridge. You're targeting all residents and all businesses will be invited, or are we just thinking about the plaza businesses?
Through the chair to Councillor Bauer. So for this, staff were envisioning for this motion to be town-wide, so that it's residents that are beyond that. As was more recently, we've seen the effects of visible homelessness in other wards outside of just downtown Ajax.
Perfect. I was hoping that that would be the answer, because for that exact reason, it's moved a little north of the plaza itself, so it should be involving everybody. And it just slipped out of my head. Then I'll ask you later. Thank you very much, Mayor Carey. That was my question.
Thank you. I really hope we have a good turnout. I get a lot of emails on this. Too late. And people just don't understand what we can and cannot do. People are constantly like, you're the mayor, why aren't you fixing this? And expect me to snap my fingers and cure homelessness. And it's just everything from Supreme Court decisions to funding to everything else. The plethora of reasons we can't. Like, it's not illegal to be homeless. People do have rights regardless. And we are very restricted on what we can do. So at least I don't think we need to raise awareness. I think we just need to let people understand what we can and cannot do, and what the town's, how long our arms are, or actually in this case, how short our reach is in dealing with this. So look forward to those dates. Councillor Bauer, do you need to come back in? Go ahead.
Thank you. And it does actually relate to your remark, Mayor Collier, about the attendance and having a good turnout. What is the communication plan so that we can get a good turnout?
Thank you, through the chair to Councillor Bauer. One of our, the communication strategy, we will be communicating with all residents that have emailed staff and councillors that we're aware of to advise them that this meeting is happening. There will be promotions through our various social media channels, and we will also, particularly in the areas and neighborhoods where we know that there are substantive impacts around the plaza and the downtown area, those will be, we'll do some direct outreach to them directly. However, for the town at large, it's something that staff are going to think about, because we do know that understanding or ensuring that a large number of individuals attend this meeting is a priority. So,
Okay. Perfect. Thank you very much. That was my question, Mayor Collier.
Seeing nothing further, please open the vote. That carries. And the final departmental report, item 7.3.2, OES 2025-23 contract award, Port Road improvements. Moved by Councillor Henry, second by Councillor Tyler Moran, that council award the contract for Port Road improvements to Windale Paving Company Limited in the amount of $237,875.03 inclusive of all taxes. I will say that the majority of this, about 200,000 worth, I believe, is securities that we collected from the developer to use to pay for things when they are not completed by the developer, so we can go back in and finish them after. So this is not tax dollars. This is, majority of it is securities that we did collect as part of the development process, just to make that clarification. Questions? Councilor Bauer?
Thank you, Mayor Collier. Just one question. This project is separate from, I believe Port Road will end up becoming an active park type design eventually? This is completely separate, right?
Mr.
Through the
Romanowski?
chair to Councillor Bauer, this is north of that development of where the park area
Oh, is
is.
it? Okay.
Yeah, it's where Lord terminates and then
Yeah.
bends up. And there's a little block off the elbow of that I think it's Beer Crescent is the internal
right,
street. Yeah, so it's not part of that. It's just this outstanding holdout property that was there that went through a severance process and
Okay.
built those new homes there. So, and the mayor's right with regards to the security that can be used for completion of works along that frontage.
That's great. Okay, thank you very much, Director. Thank you, Mayor.
Seeing nobody else in the speaker's box, please open the vote. That carries. Are there any regional council reports? Okay, I would just mention last Wednesday we had the committee of the whole meeting. We had a presentation from the police board, part of our quarterly. It was a good couple of hours of very detailed questions and a lot of good information. And that was that. Anything else? That's pretty much, well, that's all I was there for. The Regional Council Report, moved by Councilor Henry, second by Councilor Lee, that the Regional Council reports of September 15th, 2025 be received for information. Those in favor? That carries. Moving on to business from notice of motion. First item, temporary removal of Harwood Avenue North from automated speed enforcement rotation, moved by Councilor Henry, second by Councilor Crawford. Councilor Henry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So just for the record, for those watching at home, in September of 2022, prior to me being on this council, the previous council put forth a motion to have the speed limit reduced on this section of Harwood, and it was due to construction projects that were coming forward. Had I been on this council at that time, I would have also agreed with that motion. I do think it was necessary for the work that was needed there. We have 2 schools there, a lot of construction going on. We're at a point in time now where the construction on the road itself in that particular area is finishing up. We're just waiting for verification that everything that needs to be done is being done, and it's time now to bring the speed limits back up to where it was prior to that previous motion in September of 2022. So we're just looking to put things back the way they were. It's my understanding through meetings with senior staff and the manager of transportation that moving into the next phase of construction coming up on Harwood, going north of that section up to Taunton Road, going from 2 lanes to 4 lanes, we will not be placing further reduced speed limits in that particular area. And as such, natural slowing progression of traffic will happen naturally through the construction process itself and safety measures that will be put in place. So I'm happy to bring this forward and hoping council will support this motion. Oh, in the meantime, we're also asking until such time that the ASE machines are not in the rotation until the speed limit goes back to where it originally was. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Through the chair to staff, would staff recommend removing ASE on Harwood I'm assuming we put it there for a reason?
Through the chair to Councillor Lee, we would keep it as part of the program. It's still within the rotation. I think with regards to Councillor Henry's question about not putting the ASE back there until the speed limits have changed, I don't think, and Duval's here as well, I don't think we're anticipating Harwood to get back on the rotation at least for another year, just because of how many sites we have. So for sure, the speed limit will be at whatever the speed limit needs to be set back to by that time. But based on the information in the tickets, you know, people were speeding well above 60 or 50 kilometers an hour. So
Because if I'm not mistaken, the camera's right by the 7-Eleven, so it's actually well south of a lot of the construction. Am I incorrect there?
I believe the camera was on the
West side.
west side of Harwood, right across from the school, from the high school site, I believe. Duval, do you want to give us a precise location?
No, thank you.
Through the chair to Councillor Lee, the current location was on the west side, just south of the north entry point of the school.
North, okay.
Yeah.
And so that's still pretty clear of the construction at Schlegel and Grandview, correct?
Yes.
I guess I listen.
It's all the community safety zone.
Right, it's because of the school. I guess I'm just uncomfortable with just arbitrarily, it seems, changing ASC rotations. We seem to have like a pretty good system in place. I think it's done a great job reducing speeds and, you know, making our streets safer. So like, well, I kind of understand the rationalization. I don't think council should be directing where these ASCs go or don't go. We are not the traffic experts. We don't get all the information. So that is my thing. I understand the intent behind this. I'm not sure I could support based on that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. And Councillor Crawford is the seconder.
Thank you. We may not be traffic experts, but we did get a lot of complaints, a lot. And I realize the way not to get a ticket is don't speed, so I don't have a lot of sympathy that way. But I feel that there's such a long stretch there that's 40 at this point, like a very long stretch, that even when we had our police, I can't remember his exact title, but he even said that it was really long, really slow, and really hard. And they even felt bad giving tickets out themselves as police officers, gave out more warnings. So I feel like all we're asking for is a pause until the speed comes back up to where it is. You can stay on the rotation. It's just a pause until that speed comes back up. That's all.
Councillor Bauer.
Thank you, Mayor Collier. So just confirming, if we've already talked about this, I apologize. Do we know when the speed is being restored to 50? Is the timing such that in a year's time, when it'll hit Harwood again, the speed will already be fixed? Is that what Director just said to us?
First, through the chair, to Councillor Bauer, to the rest of council, these were locations selected by this council.
Yes.
So just wanted to mention that. And yeah, construction is coming to an end, but you have a double high school, which is a tremendous amount of pedestrian population. You have Schlegel Villages, which is a seniors living facility that, and when I lived in Whitby by the Schlegel at Brock and Taunton, there's lots of people out walking their parents, et cetera, there, so it's a busy spot. Plus you also have Grandview Children's Center there as well. So sure the speed limit might be increased from 40, and yes, it's a very long segment of road, but that doesn't mean the users adjacent to this road are pedestrians for the most part. Lots of ins and outs, signalized intersections. The road is curvy,
Yeah.
and it's up and down too. I think I mentioned that probably by the time this gets back to being posted, and Deval can correct me, chances are the speed limit will be increased back to 50 or 60, whatever it needs to be reinstated to at that time. And as I also mentioned, the majority of the tickets that were issued by that machine, they were going well above even the 60-kilometer-an-hour speed limit. So that's not going to help those that are going over that threshold.
Thank you, Director. And the camera is currently at that location for how much longer?
The camera,
It's
yeah,
gone.
through the chair to Councilor Ballard, it's gone. It's moved on to the next series of rotations.
Okay. Okay, so clarifying this motion for me to the mover and seconder, the intent is, it's not there right now, it's likely not coming back for a year, and in that year's time, the speed will go back up to the 50. Is that what you were thinking? Yeah, that's the hopes. Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Councillor Henry, you've already spoken to this, so I'm going to ask my questions first before I let you back in. I just want to ask about the 50-kilometer-per-hour request on here. Have we done, I see Mr. Pandya is here, have we done any kind of traffic studies on this section of road recently?
I'll let Deval speak to it. We've done a lot of assessments and EAs and widenings and even analysis through the various development applications.
Would that have captured this section where the schools are?
All development needs to do comparables. They need to look at the network or the length of road that their development would be using to access. But I'll let Deval speak specifically to how do we determine if 50 is the speed limit versus 60?
Okay, please go ahead.
Through the chair to Mr. Mayor, like from the regular process perspective, probably we have not done any speed analysis in this area. However, we have grandfathered this situation of having 50 kilometers per hour speed limit on Rossland Road between Taunton and Williamson Drive, based on those two schools. It seems to me, like based on my professional opinion, I would say it is appropriate in this area to have 50 kilometers per hour speed limit because of the pedestrian traffic that we have on this stretch of road.
And I know you meant Harwood, not Roslyn, but you're saying it, so wait a minute, it's 40 currently?
Right now it is 40 just to support the ongoing construction activities along that stretch of road.
Okay. And this is just asking to direct the feasibility of restoring the speed and provide an update. What's the time to do all this stuff and what's required to investigate the feasibility and traffic studies and whichever else?
Through the chair to Mr. Mayor, I think as part of the EA that we have completed for Harwood Avenue North between Woodcock and Taunton, moving forward this whole section of Harwood Avenue from Rossland Road to Taunton Road will be posted 50 kilometers per hour after the widening of Harwood Avenue North. So
Okay.
EA recommended 50 kilometers per hour speed limit.
And when do we expect Roslyn to be completed? Is it still 2027, I believe, or what's the date? Harwood, I meant, sorry. You confused me with Roslyn. Harwood.
I expect that the construction will start next year. I'm not too sure. Probably Ranil Fernando can provide us a little bit more update on the future scheduling of Harwood Avenue construction. Currently, I'm not aware of the schedule.
Okay, but it would be done in not for about a year and a half, approximately.
Yes, that's correct.
2027, I believe, is what the numbers I have. Okay. Okay, those are my questions. Thank you. Councillor Henry?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So my colleague pulled up Schlegel in Whitby just to take a look at it. It looks like the speed limit there is 60 kilometers. So I would just say, if I'm understanding what came from staff a moment ago, what we're hearing is that if it's done within the year, no changes to the ASC rotation will take place anyways. So it's kind of a moot point. It's only if it's not done within the year that we are asking that it be removed until the speed limit is put back up to what it was originally intended, which was 50 kilometers an hour.
And through the chair, I would just not remove, just paused in that location until it gets to that speed limit, correct? Not
Correct.
removed.
Pause, my apologies. So that point in the motion then becomes a moot point down the road anyways, because if it's done within the time frame, which we suspect it could be sooner than later from my conversations with Mr. Pandia, that things should be fine. So we're just asking to bring it back up to 50, as long as the work, Mr. Pandia is satisfied with the work that needed to be accomplished, and to pause the ASE machine during that time until such time as it's done. So it becomes a moot point within the motion anyways. Correct? I'm getting a head shake.
Correct.
Correct, thank you.
Okay, seeing nothing further, just I guess I'll speak to it. I'm not going to be supporting it. Council made these decisions, and Councilor Henry is correct. This was before you were on council, but we make these decisions because there's a problem, and we have a lot of complaints, and this is why we do these and expand the kind of reach of these. We had them in certain areas, and we decided it was such an effective way to reduce speeds. We expanded it to other areas where we had known problems, and this is one of the areas. I also know that the traffic is not going to be done, or the road is not going to be done for at least a year and a half. So, I mean, it will be done based on the studies that were being done at that time. I don't see the need to be changing it now midterm. We have warrants, we have all these things for a reason. And I'm not a big supporter of these council-directed changes. I'm probably going to say the same thing when the unwarranted stop signs come up in the next two motions too. We have we have warrants, we have things in place for a reason to make sure these things are directed to the areas that they're needed and to make sure the system is fair. Not because a couple of people called me because they got, and I'm not saying this is what happened to you, but this is what happens to me. I get lots of people reach out to me upset because they got a ticket, and I tell them the same thing: don't speed, you won't get a ticket. You know, we have speed enforcement around. There's signs up telling you there's speed enforcement. So we can't do anything more than come and show you. Maryland posts where the things are online. We put it out on our website. I mean, we tell people where they are. It's not a secret. So, I mean, no, I can't support this. I find this kind of a knee-jerk reaction. Harwood Avenue is being developed, is being widened. I'm going to let this follow its course. Councillor Crawford? No, you're done. All right, Councillor Crawford?
I think so I am curious a bit, like Ajax High School is on Bailey and it's a 60, correct? Is that because it's a regional road and they have a permanent speed camera there?
Through the chair to Councillor Crawford, that's a permanent speed camera. It's a regional road and it's the region's camera.
Yeah, oh no, I know that.
Yeah.
But does the regional roads not go any lower than 60, or is 60 the lowest that they will go? Like, why is it 60 there?
You'd have to,
it's
we would
'cause
have to ask
of
the
class.
region,
Well, no,
unless Duval has the answer for the region. I mean,
It's a smaller school
Yeah.
than J. Clark, and, and it's got a faster speed. So, like, I'm just wondering why wouldn't you go back? Was it always 50? I can't even remember now on Harwood. Was it always 50 or was it 60?
Through the chair to Councillor Crawford, it was like the section of Harwood between Rossland Road and Williamson Drive West. It was always 50. I have lived in that area,
Okay.
so I am
No.
100% sure.
Yeah, so then you said that when you put a community safety zone in, you have to go a certain amount of way, like one side of the school and a certain distance the other side of the school, correct?
Yes.
There is a mapped out
Yes, that's correct. The school zone limits are specified by the Highway Traffic Act. From the north or south boundaries, it has to be 150 meters.
So I mean, no disrespect to Director Romanowski, but if we're having it so that because we got old people walking on the sidewalk, I mean, I got a number of streets we can put these on, because that's not, like, the determination is a school zone, correct? So it should only be 150 kilometers one side and 150 kilometers the other side, under normal circumstances.
But I think we have to remember the fact that there are two schools side
Yeah,
by
yeah.
side.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the design of the road too, like I would argue that Bailey is a straight segment of road that's just straight. This is uphill, downhill, curved. There's a light at Biggs, there's a light at the North School entrance, there's a light at Woodcock, there's a light at Grandview, there's a light at Williamson, there's a crossing at Haskell, then there's a light at Taunton. So it's kind of traffic calmed and 50, it suits the road, I would say. It's probably designed, you could go faster on it, but roads are always over-designed.
Yeah.
The speed limit is probably characteristic of the different inputs along that segment of road. Whereas Bailey, for example, and Ajax High is the only thing that, and St.
Bernadette's.
Bees are the only driveways that access that segment of road between Bircher and Bailey.
Right.
Other than maybe the driveway for the red bricks on the north side, about 200 meters east of Bailey and Hartwood.
I'm only bringing up arguments that
Sure.
that have been presented to me, so I just wanted to make sure that came out in public too. Okay, thank you.
Through the chair, I think through the chair to Councillor Crawford, I would like to add on what Director Romanowski said. Bailey Street is under the, as per the region's official plan, Bailey Street is a type A arterial road, and it has a different function. The way the road is designed with a design speed of 80 kilometers per hour. So 60 kilometers per hour is the posted speed limit. Typically for type A arterial roads, that is the minimum.
Councillor Lee.
Thank you, Chair. I don't think I can support this. Different reasons. I think, listen, it's the town of Ajax position that ASC works in reducing speeds because it corrects behavior through a monetary penalty. And so I think if people were getting caught on Harwood, to our director of planning, they're getting caught way above 60, and we have two high schools there where I don't necessarily trust all the students to be crossing at the signalized intersections. I just think, it keeps us safer. And so I just don't want us to start mucking around, for lack of a better phrase, with ASC locations and timing, because, we have a pretty good rotation, which we all agreed upon, previously. And I think it works. And I think, more importantly, whether it's Vision Zero, this council has always been of the mindset that we want our roads to be safer. That's one of our biggest complaints. And I think this is the best way to it. So, again, very well intentioned. I understand why the motion came forward. I just don't think I can agree. Thank you, Chair.
Else in the speaker list, please open the vote. That carries 4-3. Moving on to the next item, supporting healthy democracy through the Elect Respect campaign. Moved by Councillor Crawford, second by Councillor Henry. Councillor Crawford, when you press your button. There you go. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship. This has gone through many, many municipalities. And the intention of this, sorry, I just got back from holidays and can't find my laptop in my house. So, Ajax, I'll just read the therefores. Ajax Council supports the elected respect pledge and commits to treating others with respect in all places, private, public, and online, reject and call out harassment, abuse, and personal attacks, focus debate on ideas and policies and not personal attacks, help build a supportive culture where people of all backgrounds feel safe to run for and hold office, call on relevant authorities to ensure that the protection of elected officials who face abuse or threats, and modeled integrity and respect by holding one another to the highest standard of conduct. This is the very least we can do in our profession. And, you know, it's not like we have an HR department, although we do have the Integrity Commissioner. I think Ajax Council, I've been here since 2010, I have never, ever felt harassed or disrespected at all on council. That is not the case in certain municipalities here in Durham Region and beyond. And I think that that it's time that we start to say it's not right. It's we need to hold each other to a higher standard. And so that's all this is what I just read there.
Councillor Lee.
Thank you, Chair. Sorry, I thought the seconder wanted to chime in, but thank you very much for bringing this forward. Yeah, it's the toxicity in politics in general, I wouldn't just say local politics, has reached levels that we've never seen before. I think everyone on this council has been the victim, I would say, of, you know, personal attacks that may not have the full truth in mind. So I think it is important to elect respect. I think this should also apply during elections, and I also think this should apply to any sort of proxies, you know, councillors may have. You know, I may not say something, but I'll tell someone to say something else. I think if we see something that we know to be untrue, we should be speaking up for each other, thereby elevating the role itself, right? So even if we disagree with our fellow councillors, we shouldn't be sending, you know, proxies to attack each other. Let's, you know, do this where we should be doing this to each other, face to face at council chambers, and, you know, let's raise the level of debate. I think it's very important to do that. So thank you, both the mover and seconder, for bringing this forward.
Okay. Councillor Henry is the seconder.
Oh, thank you, Mayor Collier. I'd like to start by saying I watched the regional council meeting the other day, and Regional Councillor Lee by far had the best question directed at someone with regards to this about having people that support them attacking others. And did that person feel it was right? And it was a great question because it made people stop and think about that. I myself have been harassed online about some ableist comments, so I know what that feels like, and I'm sure everybody here has at one time or another heard some things come their way. And again, I wanted to thank Regional Councillor Lee for his comments at the region. Very respectful. Thank you.
Councillor Dice.
Thank you, Chair. It's really unfortunate that we have to bring a resolution like this forward, and thank you for doing so today. And yes, it's going across Canada where different municipalities are signing this. The landscape has changed drastically to a point where we're seeing less and less people step up to the plate to become politicians. And we're not the politicians that we're always painted to be, we're residents. We live here, we pay taxes the same as everybody else. We just wanted to come and do a little bit more in helping to make decisions day to day. So it's gotten to the point where even in our own region, people have been targeted, their families, their homes, they've been threatened, things have been damaged, and it's really not necessary. I think social media has a lot to do with it. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and I think we have to be a little bit more practical in how we view things. So I'm hoping that in 2016, in the next municipal election, there will be people running, because there's a lot of people that are retiring too and leaving the profession because of these issues. So hopefully that, you know, that doesn't attract maybe the best people that you wanted to see. It's limiting, you know, how many will run. So hopefully these kinds of things, these motions bring some awareness. And I hope that you spread that awareness and help people understand that, you know, we need to have respect for our elected officials so they feel that comfortable doing the job. So thank you.
Okay. Seeing no one else in the speaker list, please open the vote. That carries unanimously. Moving on to our next notice of motion, three-way stop installation at Cyril Avenue and Selby Drive. Moved by Councilor Lee, second by Councilor Henry. And we also have the three pieces of correspondence that were forwarded to deal with as well on this matter. Councilor Lee?
Thank you, Chair. So there's a bit of history with this one. This issue had come to my attention back last term, just before COVID. And long story short, there's a rectangle between Bellinger and Telford and Cyril and, sorry, the last street is Williamson. And on Telford, there is a school. And on Bellinger, the opposite side of Cyril, there is a stop sign there. On Cyril, there's no stop sign. So again, like theoretically, I'm sure the developers had something in mind of not having it, conform both sides. But we are seeing a lot of more dangerous traffic on Cyril as a result. We're seeing signs knocked down. We're seeing, accidents as you do in a lot of streets. So this is one of the cases where we had our previous manager of traffic had left the organization. He said he was going to look into it because he was actually somewhat in favor of putting a stop sign there. And then, COVID happened and this had fallen off my radar. Thankfully, we had a resident come remind me that, this area was still incredibly dangerous from a road point of view, and that something as simple as a stop sign could affect positive change. So, it's not a matter of just randomly putting it. There's an identical one on the opposite side, and so I'm just hoping we could put one on this side so that's conform, and it'll slow down people on both sides. Thank you, Chair.
Oops, before I go on to the next speaker, I did make an error. Only one of the pieces of correspondence relates to this motion, and that is the petition that we have. So we'll deal with that at the same time. Councilor Henry?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I wanted to say that in the audience today, we have the person that brought forth the petition that worked so hard to get all the signatures, as well as Road Watch that's here with us this afternoon. Road Watch went through this neighborhood and put up, I'd say, around 30 signs. That's how eager neighbors were to have folks slowing down. We heard from multiple residents that they were very much concerned about the traffic in this area and not a safe place for kids to cross from the parkway over from the east side of the street to the west side of the street, and all that went with that in the history of the neighborhood. So it wasn't, just one person with a petition coming forward. Now you've got Road Watch on site with their group hearing the same things that Councilor Lee and myself have heard, and a big community push for this. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, around 88% of the street that had signed the petition, and the ones that didn't sign is because they weren't home apparently. So it shows a lot of support in this area, and I think this is a follow-through, as Regional Councilor Lee said, to continue on so that we have a safe crossing on one side of the park, and now we will have a safe crossing on the other side of the park. So hopefully, councilor colleagues will support this. Thank you.
Thank you. Just through you to planning, is this something that your department would support? Have you looked at this?
I'll let Deval speak to the warrant processes and reviews for this type of infrastructure.
Through the chair to Councillor Dries, typically for any intersection that comes to us for review, we typically consider the traffic data collection and then complete the warrant analysis as specified by the Ontario Ministry of Transportation. As far as Cyril and Selby is concerned, we did traffic data collection and warrant analysis in 2023. Based on the traffic data collection, we saw or we observed that in 2023, speeding was not an issue. We did not find any evidence of speeding in that area. When we completed warrant analysis, this intersection did not meet the warrants. When I met with the residents, I committed that we will complete traffic data collection and warrant analysis as part of our fall 2025 traffic data collection program.
And that was done?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilor Tyler Moore.
Thank you, Your Worship. So do we have a cost analysis of what this would cost along with the next, not to get ahead of myself, but is there a number to put in these stop signs-ish? Doesn't have to be to the penny, but.
Thank you. Sorry, through the mayor to Councillor Tyler Moran, it's approximately $4,500 per location.
Per
Sign,
location,
yes,
so
sir.
it's $9,000.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have more to say. Should I say that now? Okay. So I support my council colleagues, and I support putting a stop sign there. However, it's my strong opinion that we should refer this to the budget process so that it can happen. But one thing that I'm sure my council colleagues will agree with is we hear from every resident about the cost and the money we're spending and property taxes. I'm not suggesting that them wanting the stop sign is somehow irresponsible. I'm not saying that. But I would like to say to the residents, in my opinion, because maybe other people don't agree, sure, let's put another stop sign there. Don't mean to sound flippant, but I would like to see that. I agree with it, but it's just for me, not today, because recently I had a wish that I wanted to put in, and I just want to say this on the record, I wanted to put in some no parking signs. And by the time it got done, it was an $8,000 ask. And I didn't want to bring an unbudgeted item to this council floor because I think that the responsible thing to do, again, I'm not calling you irresponsible, is to wait for the next budget, put it in there, and get it all done. So it's a question of saying, absolutely, let's do this, but I'd like to refer it to the budget process. Thank you.
Okay, so motion to refer, can we get a seconder? Seconded by Councilor Bauer. Further comments? Councilor Bauer, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor Collier. Yes, thank you for your comments. Thank you for the motion to Councilors Henry and Lee. I understand that, and I echo Councilor Tyler Moran's comments. Because as a Ward 3 councilor, for traffic data collection requests and for areas where residents want, I could tell you 3 right now. Audley and Denny, Bashford and Finley, Ford and Clements. And in fact, a petition has just been submitted by the area residents of Ford and Clements for a stop sign. Audley and Denny, I've been pushing, and Roadwatch has actually been and given me advice on that one as well. So, and I've spoken with the manager of transportation, with Mr. Pandea, who is going to follow that procedure with the traffic collection of those areas in the fall. So I feel like if we're going to put motions for stop signs, then I would say let's amend this one and put Audley Denny, Bashford Finley, and Ford and Clements. I understand that's not feasible and not reasonable. So again, saving or following the budget process, I understand that. I agree with that. So that's why I'm seconding that. Thank you.
You're killing me. All right. Seeing no one else on the speakers list, I'll just go back. I was here, Councilor Dyes, you were here as well, in the early 2000s where the council of the day, the solution was, anywhere we had speeding and whatever, just put in politically, directed stop signs. They were only $200 at that point. And, yeah, should have stocked up. But as a result, we now have a town with unwarranted, ineffective stop signs all over the place that really do nothing but create potentially a false sense of security, which is what we found once we actually went and established the warrant process. And we actually went and established the warrant process specifically for this reason, to get away from politically motivated stop signs due to complaints. You get a complaint from 5 people, you've got 1,000 people not complaining. You know, you have to, it's not a representation of the situation. I heard from Mr. Duval, from Duval that, you know, there was no speeding when they did the traffic warrants and it did not meet the warrants. If we go ahead and just do, you know, motions to put them, why bother with staff? I mean, maybe we don't need, I'm joking, we need you. But maybe, you know, that's why we have the processes in place. And I agree with Councillor Bauer. This needs to follow the proper process. It is a non-budgeted item. I don't want to be the one to explain to residents why I'm adding money to the budget and through a non-budget item. So I believe correctly it should go through the proper process. I will support the referral motion to the budget. Councillor Henry, you're on the speaker's list.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to point out that the lady that brought forth the petition is here in council chambers and would like 5 minutes to speak. Is that possible?
No, the time for that delegations has passed and question periods has passed. We all have the petition, and that's the next thing we're going to deal with is whether council is going to receive it, refer it to staff, or make a decision on the matter.
Thank you, sir.
But it wasn't proper to do that until we had made this decision on this. If this referral passes, I would suggest that the petition, it is referred to this, accompany it to form part of the, I guess, through the budget process. Councillor Tyler Moore, you're next.
Just thank you for letting me back in for a minute. I want to steal a word from Councillor Bauer. I think rather than responsible, it's reasonable. That's what I was trying to say. I didn't mean to say for a second that my council colleagues were being irresponsible. Just trying to be reasonable with the numbers. That's all. Thank you for clarifying. I just, no.
That was going to keep me up tonight. Yeah, Councillor Lee.
That's why I said it.
No, thank you, Chair. I just want to clarify then, because the resident is here, what does it mean necessarily to refer to the budget process? Does that mean it's automatically not in the budget, or it'll come to you, the mayor's budget, to make that decision?
To the petition, I'm going to turn to the clerk, please, because I'm unsure if this is not something I've dealt with in the last 22 years. So I'm not sure. What should we be doing with the petition at this point, assuming the motion is referred?
Through you, Mr. Chair, if the motion is referred to the 2026 mayor's budget process, we can also refer the petition to the mayor's budget process, stating that it's the same item.
They just are joined.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But I guess what I'm asking is, this is not necessarily a no right now. It's just we're going to go through the budget process where when you present the budget, you will make that determination whether the stop sign goes in.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you, Chair.
Well, no, it's not quite that simple. I'm going to be talking to staff and seeing if we can't get this area looked at again, because last time it was looked at as 2023, see if the numbers, if anything, has changed. Again, part of the warrant process is we have a finite amount of money. We need to make sure we're allocating that to where it's needed the most, which is why we have the warrant process. So based on...
I kind of get it, by the way. I'm just making sure the resident understands, this is not dead right now.
It's not dead right now. No, it's referred.
Assuming the referral passes. Thank you, Chair.
And yeah, before any decisions are made as to the budget process, I'm going to be asking a lot more questions. Okay. Further? Okay, on the referral. One, two, three, four. That carries. I'm not sure if I'll be signing these if they're referred. Okay. Last notice of motion, three-way stop installation at Williamson Drive West and Seeger Avenue, moved by Councillor Henry, second by Councillor Lee. Councillor Henry, as a mover, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So in the room today, we have our trustee, Public School Board trustee Donna Edwards, and we have our Road Watch team here. We've received letters. I'm not going to read them because I want to use up my time to make my case, but we have letters here in support from the Road Watch team, and we have a letter of support from Nottingham Public School itself. Just a little background on this. So this area has been an issue since I was elected in 2020, well, past that, but I've been getting residential concerns for quite some time. A member of Durham Regional Police came with me on site, as well as the trustee, the principal, visited that area to see what could be done. While the Durham Police Regional Officer and myself were entering that area for a walkabout, we literally saw the crossing guard come out into the middle of the road on Williamson, and we saw someone coming from east going westbound, did not see her, proceeded and had to slam on their brakes as a child was walking off on the opposite side of the street. We know that at this location, we've had 2 young people that were hit there after hours when the crossing guard was not there. We know that staff had brought forth a project report number 26002701 for consideration in the 26 budget for a signalized crosswalk at $225,000 that did meet the warrant process. Now, with that said, I am asking for today an all-way stop that is $4,417, significantly less funding than what is proposed. And although it does not meet the warrant, it will accomplish exactly what we're trying to do for this neighborhood for far less money. I hear my council colleagues' argument about the budgeted process and coming in 26. I am asking that this is in this current budget now, 25. I am sure we can find $5,000 to accomplish this. This is a strong ask from the neighbors in Nottingham, from the school community in Nottingham, from the community north of Nottingham, where they want their children to be able to walk to school safely in that area and after school to cross over safely. Sometimes that means the crossing guard's not there if they're in the playground after school playing in Nottingham Park and they have to walk home alone. There has been numerous close calls at this, well, it's not a full intersection, but at this three-way, what would be a three-way stop. Road Watch and myself were up there a couple months ago. Road Watch had up their speed board. While they were there on site in vests, people slowed down significantly. The vests come off, the equipment goes away, and all of a sudden, people start speeding through that entire area, to which, you know, there was a gentleman at Road Watch that was like, hey, slow down, and I won't repeat what happened from the respondent, but it wasn't nice. So what I'm saying is, and we've heard from multiple neighbors there, I think we put up about 25 to 30 Road Watch signs on that street. The neighbors are asking for this, the community is asking for this, the school community is asking for this, and I am strongly, strongly supporting this and asking that my council colleagues have some latitude, and we must have money in the budget to support this somewhere. Thank you.
I'm wondering whether to let Councilor Lee go ahead and speak and then move my referral motion, the same as the last one, or just to go ahead and move it and save us a bit of time, because, I mean, Councilor Henry, I'm going to make the referral motion, and looking for a second by Councilor Tyler Moore, and just speak to it quickly. You said yourself, there is an item to look at this in the budget already. I haven't looked at the budget yet. We're in the process. We'll be dealing with this. So to kind of preempt that and put in some stop signs, respectfully, this area is no different than any other intersection in the town that's near a school. People speed, people don't pay attention. It's unfortunate, it really is. And I used to be part of Road Watch way back a couple of decades ago. I've been on these things and watched what happens. It's all over town, and this is why we developed the warrant process, to look at each section individually, weight them against everything else to make sure we're putting our resources in the right place where it's going to be the most effective. So it doesn't meet the warrants, that's correct. We're not talking about that. We're talking on your motion is three-way stop installation at Williamson. So for those reasons, I would like to refer it to the budget process and be dealt with the other item as well. Anything further? No, please open the vote. And if this fails, Councillor Lee, you are on the speaker's list for your motion. Okay, that matter is referred. I was looking forward to it. I really was. Save it for December. That concludes notice of motion. We have bylaws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bylaws. Moved by Councilor Tyler Moore and second by Councilor Bauer that bylaws number 67-2025 to 73-2025 be read a first, second, third time and passed. Questions on any of the bylaws? Hearing, seeing none, please vote. That carries. Do we have any, oh, I missed one thing. We have the two matters of correspondence with that referred motion. So do we need to vote that those are referred, or is it just assumed those will be referred with the other?
Assumed with the notice of motion.
Thank you. There we go. Is there any notice of motion? Councilor Lee.
Thank you, Chair. Depending on the results of Mayor Carter's meeting with the Premier, I'm putting forth a motion to support the Mental Health and Addictions Urgent Care and Emergency Department in Oshawa, just so our town can chime in and show support. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Any other notice of motion for next meeting? Okay. Any new business or announcements? Councilor Tyler Moore.
Thank you, Your Worship. Hello, Ward 1. If you're out there, please come and meet with Regional Councillor Crawford and myself, Councillor Rob Tyler Moore, and discuss Ward 1 community issues at our next upcoming ward meeting. We've had a summer off. It's tomorrow, Tuesday, September 16th, from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. 6:30 or 7 p.m. We'll say 7 p.m., but we're there at 6:30. Community Hall at McLean Community Center. We can discuss all these things, and it's an open discussion. So I look forward to seeing everyone there. Bring a friend, spread the word. Thank you so much.
Councilor Bauer.
Thank you, Mayor Collier, and to all the residents of Ward 3. Regional Councillor Joanne Dyes and I welcome you, invite you to our ward meeting on Monday, September 22nd at the Ajax Community Center in the Admiral's Room at 6:30. Please come out. Thank you.
Councilor Crawford.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank Wayne Young. This past weekend had a very successful, and his whole team, a very successful Cherry Fox run, and the Ajax chapter has raised over $1 million towards cancer, and it was a really well done event and a great run. Hot, very good run. And this weekend, we've been working very closely, Councillor Bauer and myself, very closely with this group of runners. Our first Ajax Waterfront Run is happening this weekend on Sunday, 15K, 5K, and a 1K. We've had tremendous support from the community. We have over 800 registered runners happening next weekend, and we are so incredibly excited about it. It's going to be such a great day, and come out, support, cheer, huh? Yeah, you can walk if you want. I don't even know what that means, but you can walk if you want. I'll be running my 5K. Yeah, so come out and cheer the people that are coming to our town, and it's just going to be a fun time. Thanks.
Hope you'll forgive me if I'm not one of the runners. Councillor Henry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So Regional Council Lee and I have our ward meeting on the 29th of September at Audley Recreation Center at 7 p.m. And we are going to have the Director of Planning as our special guest. The crowd goes wild. So please come out for that. Also this evening we have Live with the Mayor. And
Don't
we have...
take my material.
I'm sorry, you gave me the mic. On the 19th, we have the Audley Fairgrounds opening ceremony, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., so that's my ward, I can say that. And I just wanted to say that we went to AMO in August, and the conference in Ottawa. It was, for those who have never been and those who have asked questions online, It's a really great opportunity to have everyone who's an elected official municipally in the province in one location at one time. We have opportunities to go to conferences while we're there. We have opportunities to be involved in delegations while we're there. We have opportunities to have offsite conversations with ministers that you see walking in the hallway. And this is a great opportunity to further the needs and wants of the people of Ajax. So I just wanted to speak to that quickly. Thank you.
Councillor Lee?
Thank you, Chair. I have a few of them. On Saturday, September 20th, is the Ajax Fire Boot Drive. So it's at the Durham Center. Please bring your $5, $10, $15, $20,000 to contribute to the boot drive. We also have on the 30th, the town has worked with Indigenous consultations. There's going to be an awesome National Day for Truth and Reconciliation planned. It's going to be really much Indigenous-led, is what Yasmin has told us. So please be there. It'll be at Pat Bailey Square, I think between 12 and 1. So please wear your orange shirts. And finally, the Muslim women of Durham Region have Islamic story time at the Audley Rec Center on the 27th of September. Hope to see you all there. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Bauer.
Thank you for letting me back in, Mayor Collier. Just to add to Regional Councillor Crawford, if you are interested in registering for the Ajax Waterfront Race, which is on Sunday, the 21st, please visit ajaxwaterfrontrace.ca, and you can register there. There's lots of, there's an FAQ, there's lots of information, but also as a reminder, there is a charitable component to this race, with all funds raised going to support our Horizon House. Thank you.
And I'll do a couple. As Councillor Henry pointed out, tonight is the next iteration of Live with the Mayor, 7 p.m. here in this council chambers. I don't have any special guests. Hopefully that doesn't deter you. Come ask your questions. I'll do my best to answer them. That's from 7 to 8, and I'm sure that will be out on all of our channels. Ms. McClarty, is that going to be live streamed? Not live streamed, but it will be available on the YouTube channel after, okay? And last Thursday, well, Monday and Thursday, we had the 30th anniversary of the Ajax Pickering Mayor's Charity Classic Golf Tournament in support of Ajax Hospital. I've been there 30 years. I've been there 22 years. And I remember when we started, we were passing around the $500,000 raised mark at that time. This year, the supporters really stepped up. We actually raised $1 million on Thursday for the Ajax Hospital, bringing the total of the tournament to $6 million since inception 30 years ago. This money has always been used to buy capital equipment for the hospital because the province is responsible for operational funding but not for capital. So every year has been to buy something for capital. This year we were buying operating room chairs. I think we were buying 6 of them. These are pretty fancy, pretty impressive. If you ever need them, I hope you don't, but if you do need them, they're able to manipulate you and do everything else while you're actually in the operating suite. So the doctors can get you in all the right angles and everything else. I'm guessing we might be buying more since... Or we can get 12,000 stop signs, but I don't think that's going to go there. But yeah, considering normally we raise about 250,000, this is substantially more. So I just wanted to make sure that I said that. I want to give special thanks to a couple, Harry Lubovic, who stepped up partway through and said, "Oh, you're at this much, I'll give another 250,000." And Ed Body from John Body Homes, who did another 50,000, and the chair of the Ajax Mayor's Gala, who I know fairly well, who also directed another 50,000 on top of what we're already doing. So it was a very, very good event and very productive. Thank you. Moving on to the confirming bylaw, moved by Councillor Bauer, second by Councillor Tyler Morin, the bylaw number 74-2025, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Corporation of the Town of Ajax at its regular meeting held on September 15th, 2025, be read a first, second, third time and passed. Those in favor? That carries. And finally, Moved by Counselor Crawford, second by Counselor Tyler Moran, that the September 15, 2025 meeting of the Council of the Town of Ajax be adjourned. Please vote. Can I have a 6-1? No. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.